Ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. Welcome to the Small Business Network Live podcast this evening. My name is Anisa Jones, your hostess for this evening. And we're getting a bit of a late start this evening due to some minor difficulties. But we're going to go ahead and go forward this evening. And we thank you for tuning in. If you are seeing this broadcast, come on in, come on in. And this evening, we are looking to discuss with you all and with the guest of Mr. Shawn White, Mr. Shawn White, the goals that we have for the upcoming year and how we're preparing for that. So in a minute, as soon as Mr. White tunes in, we'll begin that broadcast. Welcome, Dr. James. Good to see you. And welcome, Mr. White. We're waiting for Facebook to add you, Mr. White. Yes, I do see you, Dr. James.
Are we on? Are we on? Are we on?
We are.
Are we on?
We are. Yes, we are. We are. Good to see you this evening, Mr. White.
Can everybody hear me loud and clear?
Now I can hear you fine. I see Mr. Robinson is tuned in with us. Good evening, Ted Robinson. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. You can hear us well? Okay, thank you, Dr. James.
Excellent.
All right. Well, Mr. White, we thank you so much for joining us this evening. And as I was just mentioning earlier in the broadcast, I'm waiting for people to come in and inviting them to join us this evening. We are looking to discuss preparation for implementing goals for the upcoming year. Often people look to the fourth quarter of the previous year to prepare for the upcoming year. And so I just wanted us to lead in that discussion this evening. If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself for those who are not familiar with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. First and foremost, I want to welcome everybody here to the Small Business Network podcast. You are in for a treat. It's an absolute honor and a privilege to be such a part of an amazing organization. A little bit about myself. My name is Shawn White, and I'm the partner and CEO of the Small Business Network, along as far as my business partner, Dr. James McConnell. And we have something amazing going on, guys. We give entrepreneurs and people the opportunity as far as to really showcase their talents and really take their business to the next level through the power of internet, TV, and radio. And that's just a few of the things in which that we actually do. But to answer the question a little bit more and to elaborate into that more about myself, the beautiful part about me is that during this journey of being an entrepreneur of about 10 years, I'm the founder and creator of a brand which is called Transformation Greatness, which is all about motivating, encouraging, and inspiring the masses. And with that, my brand consists of me being a speaker. Many has labeled me as being an inspirational speaker. I'm also a certified life and mindset coach and also a hypnotherapist. And that's just a few of the things in which that I do. So my ultimate goal, along with Dr. James as well, is that we're heart-centered leaders. and servants. And what does that mean? That means that as far as that, we put people interests at heart, those that have a talent, those that have an ability, right? And we really see as far as greatness within them. And what we do is that we love to bring that out of people. So to answer your question, how does that look like for 2023? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, Mrs. Jones. For 2023, in order for you really to get to that next level, you have to make a decision. What do you mean by that, Shawn? I'm glad you asked me that. What I mean by that is that 2023 has to be different from what you're currently doing in 2022 and 2021 and etc. If you really want to go to that next level, you have to, first of all, make that decision. Like I mentioned, that's going to be a totally different year, that you're going to do things in a certain manner. You're going to move with a spirit of excellence. People that are negative or that's not in alignment of your goals and dreams, right? You can pretty much love them from a distance, but they're not going on where you're trying to go, right? You want people as far as that has the same energy, that has the same drive, same ambition, and that every single time you speak with them, you get very, very excited about that, right? That's one. Secondly, your mindset has to be there. Quite frankly, each and every single person that's listening to the sound of our voices must tell themselves each and every single day, even on Sunday, Shawn, yes, even on Sunday, that you are the one. What does that mean? The one basically means that you are the one to change your family situation. You are the one that would be that millionaire or billionaire. You will be the one that when people look at you, they look at you as being a leader, someone in which that they can look up to, that they can admire, right? There's nothing wrong as far as with emulating those that's on TV, celebrities and etc. But why can't a person look at you and say, you know what? Every single time that I speak to Anisa, I get inspired, right? Every single time that I talk to Dr. James, I always come up with great ideas, right? Every single time that I talk to Shannon or Craig, right? I mean, my mind just expands and I just feel like I can do anything, right? And for 2023, you gotta have that mindset because if you don't have that hunger and that passion, then guess what? I can pretty much assure you, right, that 2023 is going to be the same way as 2022, 2021, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, some people may argue with that and be like, no, Shawn, you don't know what you're talking about. It's going to be a better year because of this and because of that and because of this and because of that. And you know what I call individuals that say that, but there's really no conviction, no action to that? I call it, dare I say, mediocre. Allow me to explain, then I'll allow for you to get to your next question. What I mean by that is that, think about it. Every beginning of the year, every time the New Year's arrives, people have a tendency to do New Year's resolutions. If you really look at the stats, more than 80% of people, especially here in America, they make New Year's resolutions. Now, I want you to think about this. Over those 80% of people that make the New Year resolutions, how many people actually keep those resolutions, right? Meaning that they actually do what they say that they're going to do. Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, right, you got to change your mindset. And better way to start is right now, today, during this very minute, during this very hour. Change your mindset right now. That way, when 2023 come in, you're already prepared. You already have a strategy. You already have a game plan, and you're hitting the ground running versus being behind, like the average. So I hope I answered your question.
You did offer some good tips, and it just reminded me of some things that I've been privileged to come across as far as information, and that it helps to, in looking to write out first you write your plan out. You write down what you want to do because it makes it more real for what you actually plan to accomplish. And then it helps to take it in smaller chunks because, a lot of times people get overwhelmed by, this goal seems so big. How do I even remotely go about accomplishing this? It's just too much. Where do I even start? And so sometimes people, they don't start because, they feel they don't know if they can accomplish it, or where to begin. And so the first thing, obviously, for me would be praying about it, asking God for the guidance to know how to move your feet, and then after that, it would be to write out the what do you want to accomplish? Okay, and then with the hows, okay, how do you break it down into smaller pieces to execute? What do you need to do in maybe the first week? Okay, and then what do you need to do within day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, etc., throughout that particular week? And then at the end of that week, what will be your reflection? So you're almost going to reverse engineer, or go from your goal and work backwards for that week, so that if you were imagining yourself already reflecting on, okay, how did it go, what did the goal look like, and all of that, you're able to see what needs to be implemented into your execution. And then when you finally do get to look back on what you accomplished, you're able to evaluate, well, what did you do well, what needs to be done better, and all of that. But it helps you see better what needs to be included from the beginning. So,
Of
uh,
course.
yeah.
Of course. And you know something, I wanna say something on that, right? You raised a good point. Here's what I discovered as far as from coaching and speaking with people. You can give a person the strategies, you can give them the concept, you can literally give a person a blueprint on a napkin, literally laying it down step by step by step by step.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
However, if the mindset, if the belief is not there, it
Mm-hmm.
does not matter. And see, for me personally, right? Okay, when it comes to strategies and concepts, I may not be the best person on the face of the planet for that. My business partner is actually excellent for that, right? But when it comes to the mindset, when it comes to the belief,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I come into play. Because from my experience, listen, I've been exposed to so many different strategies and concepts and different ways, from reverse engineering to funnels to, I mean, dark psychology, positive psychology, everything in between the sun, because I'm a hypnotherapist. And one of the things in which that I've learned is that all that's great, all that's amazing, and you want to become a professional, you want to be organized, you want to have a strategy, you want to have a game plan. Absolutely no doubt about it. I'm not disputing that. What I am saying is this: you can have all that, but if you don't have the belief, if you don't have the mindset, if you're not learning, if you're not growing, if you're not stretching, if you're not elevating yourself, if you're not holding yourself accountable, right, and doing things that make you uncomfortable, then it doesn't matter, right? I'm gonna share a story with you, and I hope that this makes sense, right? I remember I started in terms of speaking, and I prayed to God about it, right? Because you mentioned that you want to definitely pray to God about it and ask for revelation. And I was praying to him, and I was like, God, man, I really want to be, a speaker. I want to be an excellent speaker, and I believe that I have something. You gave me an amazing gift, and I'm just going on. And the response back that I got from God?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, okay, that sounds great, but I've been gave you that gift, and I've been trying to get your attention pretty much all your life, and you're coming to me and you're telling me about this because something which I already know. But here's the thing, Shawn. I know that. I've been knew that about you. I made you. Why why is it that you do not believe in the gift in which I gave? That right there was a lesson for me. It was like, bow, bingo. Because my thing was, I thought I had to be perfect. I had to be super articulate, and I had to use big words and do all these different things. But no, that's not what it is. is. See, ladies and gentlemen, then I'll pass it back to you. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the things in which I know to be true is that a lot of times people ask for a blessing. They ask for an opportunity, right? They say, "Oh, I'm looking to make 10 or 20,000 a month, and I'm tired of this situation, and I want things to change and improve." But yet, opportunity's been knocking at your door always. There are mentors and people that are literally that you speak to on a regular basis, and that really try to get your attention. But yet, because of the fact that they don't look the part according to you, right? We disregard that. But rather, God is like, okay, hello, hello. Remember that prayer that you asked me about so long ago? Hello, I'm bringing people in your life to help you. Hello, I'm bringing you opportunities. Hello, I've given you gifts to go ahead and do that. Come on. Hello, hello, hello. So my point is this, again, it boils down to belief. Line belief and mindset. And that's the reason why that when I coach people, more so on the mindset and belief within yourself. Because if you don't believe that you have what it takes, doesn't matter what strategies, doesn't matter what concepts, doesn't matter what funnel systems, anything else. Because bottom line, you're not going to implement it because you don't believe that you're worthy and that you're good enough.
Well, Mr. Shawn, you have covered quite a bit of ground there on that one, because
I get
belief
I
is.
get real passionate when I hear that. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go into a tangent, but it's probably because I know of the work that I did within myself, and I truly believe as far as on what God has says for me, right?
Mhm,
And so when people come to me and they be like, "Oh, I don't believe I can do this," or "I don't," or "I don't believe I can do that," those are words in which that, quite frankly, if you really want to get spiritual, that the enemy uses as a tactic, right?
mhm,
Because if you're truly a believer, right, in God, in Christ, he doesn't
mhm,
use those words. And there's nowhere in the Bible that even states that. I'm not the best scholar in the world when it comes to the Bible, but that I do know, if nothing else. It's just a matter of now just believing into that and really just being humble and just doing the work and stop worrying
mhm, mhm,
about if you fail. If you fail, so what? Good. Fail fast.
mhm,
Fail as fast as you can, so that way you can learn from what you did wrong. So that way when you do it the next time, you know how to do it better. That's how the successful or the rich, however you want to frame it, that's how they approach it. And that's how they get better 1% each and every single day. Think about that.
mhm,
1% better each and every single day. That means 365 days out of the year. That means that you have gotten better 365%.
mhm, mhm.
Would somebody would want to take that? If that meant that you would have to fail and fail often in order for you to get it right?
Mhm.
Maybe it's just me. Okay, I'm not seeing no hearts. I'm not seeing no likes. So I guess it's just me. Well, that's fine then. That's just me. Next question, ma'am. I'm sorry. I ain't mean to take over the interview. I'm sorry. I just get passionate about stuff like that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. Um, well, could you discuss about belief? Um, let's let's elaborate a little bit more on that, or delve into that a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Um, when you brought that up, what came to mind was just going back to the spiritual. Just that, you know, I think it's important that people recognize. I posed in the chat the question, for those who may see this live or on the replay, in one word, who do you see yourself to be in God? Like, who has God told you that you are? And some people, they may know, they may need a refresher. Some people, I don't think they really know. And I think when you talk about belief, that's part of where that starts. That's a big part of where that starts, because when you know who God is, and when you know his intentions towards you, when you know um, who he has told you are, not just what your purposes are, but who you are, your value. Because there are things that he may have you you may be set aside to do, but that is not your value. You see what I'm saying? Those are the things that he's gifted you to be able. That's the things that he has called or chosen or purposed you to do. But your value is those are things that he's purposed or called or chosen you to do are in addition to who you first are to him. You see what I'm saying? We're not valuable to God because we can do for him. He's God all by himself. We are valuable to him because he chooses to love us and bring us into existence. Just because of that. Just because he said, I love you, Shawn. That's what God said. I want to see you exist. I want to see me in you be manifest to other people in the unique way that I designed you to do it. Same way with me. Same with Dr. James. Anyone else who will be watching this broadcast. So when we know who we are in God, when we know, then after that, knowing what we're purposed to do on the face of earth, and then knowing what he's placed in our hands, those are the things that kind of all go together in belief. And um, then knowing that when anything from the outside comes to challenge that, or even if anything from the outside comes to challenge that God is going to help us overcome that. Even if there's certain things, even on the inside, that have to be dealt with to not be in the way, so that we're not in our own way. That God will help us overcome that, and all those things sometimes even get accomplished on the path to accomplishing what we are commissioned to do. You know, the things that we're commissioned to do, the things that God has set us forth to do, they are not just like, okay, just go ahead and get these things done. There's something in those things that teach us um, who God is more to us and what he's trying to help us manifest as far as strengthening us, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, because those are some things that came to my mind, just so we can be honest. I mean, like you were talking before about your gifts that you were talking to God about, and that God talked back to you and said, well, yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page now, because he'd already, know that about you. And it's the same thing as far as how, different things that we need to maybe address in ourselves that we are needing to overcome or whatever, as far as accomplishing our different goals or whatever God has commissioned us to do. It could be, for there may be someone watching the broadcast that's like, well, they're feeling some kind of way, basically. And so the encouragement to them is just to know that we can be honest with God. Who are we fooling? You know what I mean? God knows already. So, and he's not looking at us holding it over our head. He wants to come. He wants us to come to him and tell him how we feel. So even if it's a thing of, well, God, okay, I believe you're calling me to this, but I'm feeling some kind of way about it. I'm not so sure I'm capable or that I believe, but I'm asking you to help me get there. Then God will do that.
I want to say something on that.
Mm-hmm.
Something which I learned a long time ago, right? I believe I heard this from one of the ministers, is that there is no testimony without a test. What does that
Mm-hmm.
mean? I believe this applies a lot, especially as entrepreneurs, because if you really want to find out of who you truly are as an individual, become an entrepreneur. Become an entrepreneur. Because an
Yes.
entrepreneur is most certainly a roller coaster, right? You will know more about yourself when things is going great, when things is not going great, when things is not going in your favor, when people perhaps may, get you frustrated, right? It may be certain times where you just may cut somebody out. I mean, come on now, can we keep it real in Small Business Network podcast, right? So being an entrepreneur, it will tell you a lot about yourself and it will really challenge as far as your belief system.
Mm-hmm.
And it amazes me, right? That's why I want to go back to the mindset because you have a lot of individuals when they hear the title of entrepreneur, right? Or that they've been called to something. Somehow, some way, you have a lot of people that have this impression that things are supposed to be easy, right? That
Mm-hmm.
things are supposed to be on easy street. I'm not supposed to have any bumps in the road. I'm not supposed to have any type of obstacles, right? In
Mm-hmm.
order to get to the goal. And that's not true, not
Right.
by a long shot. The
Mm-hmm.
reality is this, is that when you have a calling on you, when you have gifts, right,
Mm-hmm.
that's supposed to make room for
Mm-hmm.
you, when you are here to serve on a much more higher level, especially as being an entrepreneur, there's going to be situations, right? There's going to be challenges that come up. That's just the game of life. That's how
Mm-hmm.
it is. And
Mm-hmm.
as being an entrepreneur, it's not for the faint of heart. That's the reason why you have a lot of people that they were fancy with the word, with the idea of an entrepreneur, because it sounds cute, it sounds glamorous, it sounds great to put on your resume. But when the rubber meets the road, right, then that's when the true inner belief comes into play, right? Because that's when you have a choice. You can either bow down and you can cry, or you can truly lean and rely on God or your higher power, and you saying, you know what, no matter how it looks like, how it feels like, how it smells like, how it tastes like, right? No matter what, I'm still going to hang in there. It may not come out the way that I wanted to, but you know what? I'm just going to hang in there and persevere. That's what makes great leaders, and that's what make people respect you, because not only that they see you talking the talk, but they also see you walking the walk. And I want to say another thing too with being an entrepreneur, it requires a lot of sacrifice. It requires a lot of sacrifice. You have to get to the point where if you really want this thing, right, you have to be all in. Everybody knows the story of Walt Disney. They know who what Walt Disney is, and it's like, oh yeah, Walt Disney, right? Everybody know Walt Disney, but not too many people truly know the story of Walt Disney and how many breakdowns, mental breakdowns he had, right? How many times he was bankrupt? How many people actually took his idea, right, and stole from Walt Disney? But yet again and again and again and again and again, he rose and he persevered, right? And I'm pretty sure that his life was even cut short for this. But if you was to ask him and have an interview with Walt Disney and ask him, you know, would he be willing to do it all over again, go through all those issues and challenges and obstacles to make his dream become reality, he would say absolutely, without question, because that's where the character building session is into play. So to go back to what we was talking about with the belief, right? In order for 2023 to be that year, you have to be willing to make a sacrifice. You have to be willing to say, come hell or high water, I'm staying in this thing until I see it through. Either two things is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to reach that long-term vision, or I'm going to die trying. That's it. You have to be like that. Because if not, the mediocre, the average people is like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And boom, a speed bump hits. I don't know. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. And then they fall back into the shadows and you don't hear from them for months later. Or you keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. And boom, Murphy's Law hit. Someone close to you passes away. You ball up in the corner. Uh, uh, and then you come back months later. Or you scroll along, scroll along, scroll along, and boom, guess what? Now you lost every single thing that you even have, all your possessions, everything. And now you have to start back from scratch. And you fall into a corner. In spite of all of that, the way that you're going to be able to reach a long-term vision and really create radical and transformation change, you have to be tested, ladies and gentlemen. How can you expect for thousands, millions of people to be inspired to look at you as someone that's credible, as someone that's a life changer, if you're not willing to go through any tests, and more importantly, be able to bounce back in spite of? How? It's no way. You have no credibility. How can I even do business with you if you haven't even gone through anything? What can you teach me about business if you haven't gone through anything in business? Hello? I mean, two plus two is four last time I checked, right? So when you are going through stuff, don't look at it and bawl and be like, I'm gonna do. No, look at that as like, I'm going through this. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it sucks. But what can I gain from this? What can I gain from this? What is the lesson I can learn from it, right? What is it teaching me? Is it teaching me to be stronger? Is it teaching me to have more of a backbone? Maybe it's teaching me to be more humble. Maybe it's teaching me to be more hungry. And when you find that test, when you find that revelation, it makes you stronger. So now when you come back even stronger. And when people see that, they're like, wow, I remember when Dr. James went through X, Y, and Z, and he's still going. How does he do it? Man, I mean, when Anisa, she was going through that situation, and yet she didn't even let that stop her. And she's still here, still making things happen unfazed. How is she doing that? So now what happens is that people are looking at you. And you know what they're looking at you as? That's an authority. That's an expert. You have credibility. When you speak, people are listening with their notes. When you provide them a product or service based upon what they're going through, they're no longer questioning. They're saying, do you want Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, check, PayPal, Cash App? How you want it? That's the level where you want to get at. So when people see your name, they know you're the real deal. Next question.
Indeed, indeed. Well, what I just wanted to offer, because I'm thinking we're probably getting close to the time of the end of our podcast this evening. I just wanted to offer, in light of all that you were just saying, which is very true, I just wanted to offer the summary that, you know, the dreams that have been given to a person can either nag a person because they sat there on the back burner and they never got accomplished. Because even if you set forth to them, but you didn't see them through to fulfillment, if you never started or whatever, they can either nag you or they can buoy you because you were willing, as you mentioned, willing to go through, willing to get to the through. That's the operative word, through. As in whatever you're going through to get to your ultimate goal, that in between, you know, any obstacles, they are temporary. They don't, there's a through, there's something on the other side of the obstacles. So um people have to choose, as we started the broadcast before, that we must make decisions. You know, what are we going to be about? You know, and so just like you said, just, you know, being willing, you know, to give, do the dream that has been given to whatever unique dream a person has. Serve it well, do it justice. And you know, those are the things that I would want to offer in closing. Did you have any parting words of wisdom,
Absolutely.
Mr. White?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention to what I'm about to say, please. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. What we are doing here with the Small Business Network, myself, partner and CEO, Dr. James, the founder and creator of the Small Business Network, Anisa Jones, co-host, Shannon L. Hudson, Roosevelt Russell, many more. What we are doing, we're giving individuals an opportunity, small-based business owners, entrepreneurs, coaches, therapists, speakers, healers, those that have influencers, We're giving individuals an opportunity to really be able to make their dreams and goals a reality. The power in TV and radio is so strong. We're at a time with social media where it is so easily accessible for you to be literally anywhere in the world. And we're giving people an opportunity. 2023, make that your year to say, you know what? I'm ready. I believe in them. I see as far as what they have going on, and I want it. You may be nervous. You may be scared. That's okay. We'll go ahead and teach you. We'll go ahead and train you. You may be saying, that's great. But you may have a little apprehension, a little fear. That's all right. I'll work with you. I'm a hypnotherapist. Dr. James, he's excellent as far as what human behavior and neuroscience. We will help. We are here to serve, but we're here to serve the right people. Serious people that have a hunger and a passion and a drive to really create their dreams into a reality. And so I implore you, ladies and gentlemen, as you listen to the sound of our voices, really let this sink in. And if you'd like more information on how you can be a part of this amazing organization, because I will assure you, we will become a household name with or without you, but we would love to have you be a part of us. Feel free to get in contact with myself, message me. Please go ahead and message Anisa Jones. Please feel free to message my business partner, Dr. James MBC, that's down there in the comments. But you gotta be serious. You gotta be willing to put the work in. You gotta have that drive. That is something that is non-negotiable. If you're the kind of person that's lazy and you're saying, I really don't want to do anything, but I want all the passive rewards, then I'm sorry, this is not for you. And you might as well just go ahead and find something else that would be as far as to your life. But if this is everything in which I just stated for you, and it checks all the boxes, I would love to have a conversation. And that's all I got for you, Mrs. Jones. Take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this particular episode of the Small Business Network podcast. My name is Anisa Jones, and we're signing off for this evening. Remember, God is greater. Have a blessed evening.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone.